everyone, welcome to my review of The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from 1977. So yes, back again here, yes, indeed, to talk about Disney. Of course, it's been a while since I reviewed a Disney, animated film. But yes, here we are with the 22nd, in this kind of official, series of films. The kind of referring to the Walt Disney animation studio features. So yeah, of course, 58 of them currently in total. The latest being Frozen 2, of course. So yes, all these ones, and this is specifically part of the Dark Age, if you will, or often referred to as the Bronze Age as well. So yes, this is a very, very popular kind of film within this this kind of phase of Disney in particular. And yes, I recently rewatched this film, and yeah, such an interesting film this, and one that I do love. It's a really wonderful film this, and yeah, it's very, very interesting because it's kind of the first Winnie the Pooh feature film officially, but yes, it's kind of this anthology film at the same time. So compromising of three existing shorts or featurettes, and with added material in there to kind of link them together, and just add different things in there. And it has kind of a loose progression to the film, while also containing pre-existing material. So very, very interesting, and in the end, it kind of makes for a really wonderful Disney film, and actually one of the better Disney films in my opinion. I think this is actually better than many Disney films, and I watched this many times as a kid. I've seen most of the Winnie the Pooh works up until the very most recent ones. But yes, I remember seeing this film, and it's of course recently, I kind of gave in to Disney Plus. Although I've kind of said that I maybe wasn't too interested in getting that. I thought actually, checking it out, I thought it was pretty good actually. It's quite impressive. It does have issues, and as I've said before, I'm not big on streaming. I much prefer physical media, of course, and it's not going to stop me collecting the Disneys, of course, on Blu-ray and stuff. Eventually, I'm going to own all 58, or of course it'll be more by that point, by the time I get them all. But yes, it's not going to stop that. But I think for now, it's actually quite compelling. And I've now got Disney Plus for at least a few months, hopefully. And yes, it's quite cheap. And yeah, I watched this, and I've watched a few other ones pretty recently. Disney Works, and this is one of the films, as I say, that I'd seen before as a kid, and I hadn't seen it for many years. So it's very nostalgic, and just different bits coming back to me, and also looking forward to seeing the other ones that I saw as a kid, including different shorts. But yes, this one is such a charming film, and I have to say it's probably at least one of the very best of the kind of Dark Age Disney films, just in my opinion. And yes, this of course consisting of three shorts, mainly that kind of existed before. One being Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, which is the first one in this film here, and of course Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, and finishing off these three with Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, which is also great stuff. And yes, I think this is a wonderful little kind of combination of so much here, and I think it's really something to see, and just such a charming kind of relaxing experience. This hasn't got too much in the way of kind of emotional stakes. Perhaps it's nothing too grand in many regards. Of course, the Dark Age films, and even the Silver Age films, they weren't as grand, they weren't as epic, and I don't think as kind of meaningful, at least in my opinion, as the kind of Golden Age, of course. And this kind of Dark Age, the animation very different. Some say it's cheaper, more scratchy, it's been described as, which is very interesting. That kind of I can see why it's called that, of course. And just generally, it's not as big, it's a lot more low key, these films, it seems, when you compare to the previous works. And my favourite age of Disney is the Golden Age, but not to discount the different ages, different phases, of course, going forward, because even the Dark Age, it's got its criticisms, of course. It's not exactly the most popular kind of phase of these animated films, but I do respond to quite a few of them, and The Fox and the Hound as well. That was something I watched, and I was very emotional when I watched that as a kid, and I look forward to checking that one out again. But yes, this one for me, it could be my favourite actually. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I just loved this film. Once again, just seeing these characters. Of course, Pooh is such a great character. In this film, and I think all these shorts, the way they kind of they're combined, they have a wonderful flow, and one of the great things is kind of the way in which they're tied together through the book. They're kind of coming out, of course, at times, and seeing the book and the pages turn, of course, and actually at times, the characters kind of going between the different pages, which is a really genius way to kind of tie this all together, and it's just such a creative way in which it's done in this film, and the narration as well by Sebastian Cabot, who was also a voice actor in many Disney works, including, of course, The Jungle Book, Bagheera, and yes, just wonderful narration, such a charm, and a kind of a very light, comedy feeling this film has. There's nothing kind of tragic in this film, nothing, big stakes in many regards, but it's a really melancholic, nostalgic, kind of film this, and I think that Winnie the Pooh films in general, it's a real callback to the feeling, of being a child, and all this that surrounds it, and really magical. That's one of the things to describe this film. It's very light, but just a magical experience. And even though it's light, even though it's not anything too, emotional in many regards, I think it kind of is at the same time, and it's a different type, of emotion, and it's kind of just this lovely, magical, investing film, despite being maybe light and lacking compared to certain Disney's, in terms of drama, emotion. I really love this film, and I think it's a great one. I would put this pretty high, on my ranking of the Disney animated features, and I think this is just, the animation as well, very simplistic, and I love the animation. I love the kind of the different parts, the background, and the sense of wonder to this. Really lovely, and the songs as well. Great songs, memorable, of course, and just really magical. Once again, I think the kind of the first shorts that's used in this film, of course, Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, is probably my favourite actually. I just love the kind of relaxing, low-key feeling it has, and the comedy. It's probably the funniest moments of this actual feature is this segment of the film, and of course later on as well, involving Tigger, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too. That segment is really hilarious, and as well. But yes, I think the middle of the film is probably not quite as good. But having said that, I think I love every single kind of of the three. So yeah, it's just a wonderful film. This, I think it's a real charming experience. It's never breaks the flow, and I think the way in which the narration is done is really great in tying this together, and it's just the way it keeps you invested as a whole, as a whole film, this, because of the way that the book is used. Yeah, it's just so creative, as I say, the way this kind of story is told, and the interaction, with Pooh, for example, with the kind of the text of the book, for example, and the way the pages turn, and just the kind of really impressive way in which the story is told, and of course these characters, Piglet, Eeyore, of course, Rabbit, Tigger, Pooh, of course, as well, and Robin as well, who's weirdly, as we know, kind of voiced by different voice actors, in between the different shorts, but it isn't kind of too distracting, and actually it's very much just a slight to the film, nothing too major, but yet I think overall it is a powerful film in the way it kind of, it's just this wonderful, magical kind of the theme of childhood, and the way that Winnie the Pooh in general kind of taps into that in its own kind of way. It's very very powerful in its own kind of unique little way, and as I say, it's nothing too, it's not an epic grand Disney masterpiece, I don't feel, but it's a great film, and I think actually one of the better kind of Disney animated films. I love all these characters, Piglet, for example, as well, and just seeing these characters interact, and having this kind of very loose, but nevertheless it's there. Kind of progression to the film, and just a wonderful feeling. It really is a lovely feeling. I love the animation actually to this film. It's not some of my favourite animation. For example, like the Golden Age Disney films. But again, it's really charming. It's nice, and I like this type of animation. Generally compared to more modern animation. So yeah, I do like this very much so, and I think the way in which the world is portrayed, there's a sense of wonder to it, and real beauty in this as well. And yes, I think The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is a great Disney film, and my rating is a 91%, so very high from me. Yes, indeed, I think this is great. I think it's kind of one that just really, it's nothing too kind of grand or epic in many regards. It's not got these massive kind of sequences. It's more just a very kind of sincere, humble film. And it's very relaxing and very nostalgic film in what it's saying about childhood, and these interactions in the film, and the whole idea of the film as well, and just the way they bring these shorts together, and tie it together with these different added segments, and yes, it's really lovely film this, and I think definitely pretty high, at least on my kind of overall current kind of Disney ranking. Of course, the 58 currently Disney animated feature films, and yes, I look forward very much so to talking about the rest of these films. As we know, I've already gone through some of them on the channel a while back, of course, starting with that. But yeah, I've gone through quite a few, I believe. I look forward to doing many more. So yes, eventually the massive ranking, and whether that will be once another Disney has already come out, or simply just to do the 58 that currently exist. It just is a matter of how long it takes me to kind of gradually go through these works. So yeah, another little thing in the background on the channel that I'll be doing, and I look forward to very much. I'm a massive Disney fan, and yes, just of animation, of course. I'm a massive fan of animation. It's one of my my kind of real passions, in terms of specifics of cinema. So yes, I really look forward to talking about more of these works. And yes, this film is great, in my opinion. Tell me your thoughts, of course. Have you seen this film? And have you seen any other Disney films, of course? Of the Dark Age. Maybe what is your favourite of this age? Again, very much an unpopular phase of Disney. But yes, I think it'd be great to hear your thoughts, and yeah, just on this film, and your favourite Disney films perhaps, and yes, just everything cinema as always. Tell me your thoughts. We can talk in the comments, and yes, as always, take care, and yes, thanks for watching.